Baldur's Gate 3's publishing boss says that, or I guess I would say, insinuated, because this is from PC Gamer, that Valve's decision not to sell the Steam machine at a loss isn't stupid, but it's, in quote, peculiar. Now, I quoted this, and shout out to the Chaos Lounge. I said, no one needs a Steam machine to play Steam games, so there's no pressure for this device to jump out the door. Many people don't necessarily see this similarity with Xbox consoles, who have comfortably basically raised their prices, because once upon a time they were begging you to buy these Xbox consoles. I remember one day I walked into a GameStop and I was doing a trade, and a lady came in to trade in her Xbox Series S. The offer that they gave her on GameStop was so bad, I almost just bought it from her. But I spoke with Budget Committee real fast. Budget Committee was like, yo, you said you wanted to build another PC, for this experiment. And I was like, okay. Budget Committee won. PC always wins. So I didn't get that Series S that day. Because, again, I like to just, tamper and tinker, learn the ecosystems and such. So when I look at Xbox's, conundrum and I look at their situation, I see basically them taking the step of Valve where you don't need an Xbox to play these new Xbox games. In fact, since the Xbox generation launched, I don't think there's an Xbox game that is locked to the console. So them understanding that and moving down that direction gives them the comfort level to price their consoles where they want it to be, which is not at a loss, but maybe even at cost. If you notice right now, an Xbox Series X console right now is probably sitting around $649. But many people don't necessarily know that Matthew Humphreys of PC Gamer, wrote an article that Xbox loses $200 on each console sold. Let me see if I can pull that article here. This is my Mac device. There it is. It's from 2022. I said Mac device. Sorry, Linux device. Yeah, I don't have a Mac. It says Microsoft loses up to $200 every Xbox console sold. The Series S, according to this report, because IGN actually reported and Phil Spencer confirmed this, that the loss on each Xbox console is between $100 and $200, depending on the model. Now, I'm not a fan of increasing prices. In fact, I want to see prices always get depressed. I want to buy deals. I want to buy the bottom dollar of what I can actually not spend on the item, if you get what I mean. Like right now, my 9070 XT, I'm a little kind of tilted because the thing has gone all the way down to $515. Did y'all see that? Dang, I paid way more than $515. I mean, I didn't go crazy, but it wasn't for, but you know what I mean? I'm just saying, but again, its benefits are seeing and have been seen in that, interim that I was, using it for a lot of YouTube demonstrations and so on and so forth. It's basically a workstation that is designed to do all of this. So now that we have this information at hand and we know who's making and who's losing money, Xbox is not in the business right now of giving you free consoles or subsidized consoles. If you want an Xbox console, you have to pay Xbox's dictated prices. Why? Because they know that their ecosystem has gone beyond the console. They know that their ecosystem is bigger than that. You can pretty much choose how you want to get in here. And it brings us back to this Valve's whole conversation, because this so-called peculiar decision is not necessarily something that should be that peculiar. So when they said this, wouldn't cheap Steam machines get people spending on the Steam store? No! People spending on the Steam store would get people spending on the Steam store. You see, this is how broken the system has been, that this particular world, people think that having to use some kind of a big fat box to pull you into an ecosystem is a viable business perspective or a viable business proposition, when it's actually not. If somebody has $500 and they want to spend it on you, would you want the person to spend $500 on a plane ticket to fly to you to then come and spend whatever extra money they have? Or let's say $400 on a plane ticket. Let's just say $300, $399 on a plane ticket to then come and spend $101 on you. That's crazy. You'd rather that person from wherever they are, the comfort of their living, actually go ahead and spend that money on you with today's possibilities. You can just tell the person, dude, you don't have to fly, on, Delta to bring me this SSD. Let's say the person has an SSD for you. You can say, you know what? Why don't you put that SSD in the mail and then go on there to Newegg with $400 and let me see one of those 5070s. Now that person has not only taken that $500 and blessed you with the, say, NVMe SSD, they've also blessed you with a 5070, a GPU and an NVMe. Think with your brains, ladies and gentlemen, because I see a lot of people pretty much going ahead and saying some of the craziest things that even they themselves won't do. Now, we've reported on Valve's indication that Steam Machine will be priced like a PC, not a console. Valve has since confirmed that it does not plan to sell the Steam Machine at a loss, which is reasonably common console play, because it's not a console. The idea that being to get people using a given platform and then make money on game sales. That is an outdated model. Steam has been selling billions and billions of dollars worth of software for many years without the need of any hardware. I think what this does is it exposes the entire gaming coalition conversationists as absolutely being tunnel visioned, marketed, branded, and hypnotized to one perspective of actually understanding the gaming business. And this is where we all come at odds. The PC community comes in to have the conversation and say, guys, you don't need a box. You bring your own box. The PlayStation guys jump up in arms. Sometimes the Xbox guys jump up in arms and they start jumping on our case, saying, you get out of here with your PC. We like the dedicated OS. We want our UI. And people are like, yo, keep your UI or make your UI. Isn't what we've been doing? Valve's like, oh, we're going to bring out a Steam Machine. And everybody on PC is like, I got a Steam Machine before you, Valve. They haven't even announced the release date. In fact, the moment the ad showed up, a bunch of guys dual booted into their Steam Machine. And once the ad was, in fact, some guys were watching the ad from their Steam machines. So this whole thing really is very weird. He said, check this out. Should that model apply to Steam Machine? No. The publishing director of Larian Studios, the outfit behind Baldur's Gate 3, among other high-profile games, clearly thinks so. Eh? What did he say? He replied to Hazardo Gaming Dragon Dojima. He says, I know subsidizing hardware is unfashionable now, but surely they're losing far more. Let me see what the rest of this is. Far more than a negative $200 difference by not having people on the storefront, which is essentially a money printing machine. That said, it isn't stupid to not sell things at a loss, just peculiar in this case. My dude, I guess I can see where you're coming from. So, it's not stupid to be prudent. Hey! I think we're all on the same page. Look at me, actually happy and dancing because it seems like common sense is entering the conversation, It's sneaking its way in. Oh my gosh, after the gatekeepers have decided that they were going to lay in the doors with stupidity, common sense seemed to have just oozed its way through that little crevice on the door. Ha! News that Steam Machine will be subsidized was enough to have Michael Dowse commenting on X. I know subsidized are... In other words, he thinks the money Valve would lose selling the Steam Machine at a $200 loss per unit will be more than made up by the money Steam Machine owners then spend on the Steam gaming platform. Now, here's the challenge. Right now, as we're speaking, Valve is making money and has not yet launched this Steam Machine. So how would they have done it if they depended on a machine for their business proposition? Did anybody ever consider that possibility that they don't need it? Absolutely. You all considered it. They don't need it. Let me go ahead and try to launch this game and we'll talk about it here. This is my Fedora build, by the way. I'm testing some other games. Join me in this journey as I take it through a Linux desktop environment to see what the hype is all about. Shout out to my buddy who helped me set this thing up and gave me all of the little pizzazz that he's already suffered through. You know how it is, right? You suffer all that stuff and then you go help your guy or you tell everybody on the internet. You know how it is. But anyways, the Steam Machine is going to be the Steam Machine, whether it sells or not. Peace out.